Hey everyone, and welcome to Sketching with Sarah, and for this week's video, I'll be swatching the White Nights Watercolor set of 36 paints to create little blob animals for my reference when I work with these watercolors in the future. I am so stoked to have been gifted these watercolors for Christmas because one of my favorite YouTube artists, Emily Artful, loves working with these, and I just adore everything she creates. So of course I wanted to try them out. I literally rewatched her video showing all of the art supplies she uses, and made my birthday/Christmas list off of that. I'll have a link to that video in the description. I've talked about Emily Artful on my channel before, but if you haven't already, definitely check out her channel and all of her social media. I will have those links in the description as well, so go show her some love. She really deserves all that she can get and more. In this video, I'll also be breaking in these fancy Dynamic Distractions watercolor brushes that I got on Christmas too. It comes with this fancy packaging with this care card that explains how to clean them before first using them and how to maintain the quality of the brushes so they last as long as possible. The brushes come in a canvas cloth case to protect them inside, and I have to say the quality and feel of these brushes are so nice, and I can't wait to use them. This set is a nice variety of round brushes, which are my favorite type of brush to use. When opening the White Nights palette, I will say that I couldn't wait and open them right away off camera because I was so excited. But when you open it up, there is a sheet of watercolor paper with a grid on it to swatch each color, and this blank sheet is what sparked the inspiration for this video. Then there's little color mixing palette and the beautiful color pots. Each of these little color pots were individually wrapped with a foil and labeling cover, and they really did look like little candies. I unwrapped every one of them off camera too, but rest assured they did come all safe and sound in their cozy little wrappers. Now that you've heard me geek about these watercolors so far and not even have used them yet, I do want to take a second and emphasize how seriously grateful I am to even get luxuries like watercolors, or to even get anything at all for Christmas this past year. 2020 was a wild one, and I just wanted to make it clear that I know that although my 2020 wasn't easy, I do come from a place of privilege in that I still can afford to keep my lifestyle relatively the same, and I know that's just simply not the case for so many people around the world. And I hope that you watching this are having a great 2021, or at least are in the mindset that this year will be the best year ever. So cheers to that. That being said, I do hope you enjoy watching me swatch these beautiful colors and turn them into little animal beans. I will say that the pigments in these paints are so pretty and super saturated, and the payoff was instant. I didn't even have to try super hard to get the pigment to show so vividly, and it's definitely a step up from my other watercolor set because that one I kind of had to struggle to get the color that I wanted out of it, and it had these little grainy bits of dried pigment, it looked like. I don't really know, but with these watercolors it's so smooth and the payoff is perfect. Now some of the colors are a little bit easier than others, but I think that's expected for most watercolor palettes. After I got the main blobs down, I noticed that some of the colors are really pigmented to the point of looking black. So I went back in and added little baby swatches around them to each one and added more water so I can see the lighter tones of those paints. And now is the part where I start drawing all over the blobs to make these weird little animals in each one. I love this exercise because it forces me to not have any planning and just react to what's in front of me. I tried to be as random as possible with the blobs while I was creating them and try not to keep a specific animal in mind for any of them. My art heavily revolves around looking and studying lots of reference photos of animals and other things, and it's a nice change to not have to have so much pressure of getting it right. And since ink is permanent, you can't really erase any of it, so I'm even further forced to work with what I have and every line that I put down. If you like the concept of me starting with an abstract shape and turning it into animal blobs, you will definitely love my Blob Art challenge series here on YouTube, where I do exactly that. I swatched out my old watercolor palette and turned the shapes into animals. I took my favorite blob animals that I created throughout the whole series and created an illustration with them, a little bit more rendered out, but since they're just blobs, it looks really silly. Overall, I really love the effect of these abstract shapes on that piece of art that I created for the finale of that series. I'll have the playlist linked in the description and at the end of this video, so you can go ahead and watch those after this one. I just think it's such a fun challenge to tackle, especially when I'm not feeling super creative, because it forces me to come up with something from nothing. I'm also always putting more and more and more detail into my artwork, which isn't a bad thing, but it's nice to do this type of challenge where I try to stay as simple as possible and forcing myself to stop and not not put too much into it for a change. And I do like some of these blobs more than others, but I think they all have their own little charm that I adore. So here's Speedy Sarah doodling in the rest of these animals. And as you're watching, definitely comment below which one is your favorite. I can't wait to dive into this watercolor set for some more serious artwork. The thought of referring back to these silly doodles for the color swatches is so fun, and if you do any kind of painting, I would definitely encourage you to try this challenge out. I think technically you're supposed to swatch watercolors with a lot of pigment to more diluted in a gradient for each color, if that makes sense. And I think that would probably be more helpful to see more of a gradient rather than just a bunch of blobs. But I think this will do the trick. Plus I have all these goofy critters staring back at me, so I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave it a like and subscribe for more art and animal related content. I upload a new video every Friday. My goal for 2021 is to get 500 subscribers, and then we will be halfway to getting monetized. So if you like animals and you like art, it's a safe bet you'll like my channel. So why not subscribe? If you made it this far, leave me a comment to let me know which of these doodles was your favorite. I also want to know, if you paint, what's your favorite paints to use? And what's your favorite type of paint to use? And would you consider doing swatches like these? Or if you don't want to comment on any of that, tell me what your goals are for 2021, or just say hi. Because I love chatting with you guys and I respond to everything. Plus it helps my engagement on my videos, so YouTube pushes it for more people to see. It really helps me out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in next Friday's video.